Because today is the spring equinox, I decided to do a little spring TBR and show you the books that I am planning to read this spring, hopefully. Some of these I've been wanting to read for the last 2 springs and have yet to do it. But I really hope I do it this year, and maybe sharing it on the internet will hold me more accountable. Let me talk to you about some spring-ish books, I guess. I don't know if any of these actually are spring themed, but why not? We're starting off with a poetry collection that I think I'm going to savor and taste and have with me from spring to summer, and that's Mary Oliver's Devotions. I've been wanting to read her work for a long time. I have, of course, seen a few pieces here and there on the internet, but I haven't read any of it for myself in a book yet. And from what I know about Mary Oliver, I think this is maybe the right time to read it, and I'm really excited. I'll read you the synopsis. This timeless volume showcases the beloved poet at her edifying best. Within these pages, she provides us with an extraordinary and invaluable collection of her passionate, perceptive, and much treasured observations of the natural world. And you're gonna notice a theme. I've picked very nature-themed books about this, just because that's my vibe for spring. I'm gonna be frolicking through the forest, so this is the first one. Both of the next books are classics, and I think for some reason I really gratify towards classics in springtime. I think maybe it's because of the beautiful landscapes that are often described, and of course I'm not talking about gothic classics. Those are to be read in autumn and winter. I might also read Emma by Jane Austen, for example, but the book that I am talking about is, well, it's kind of not, but it's Anne of Green Gables, and I have read the first one, but I just recently got the whole entire series. I'm just showing you this one because it's pretty, and I'm not showing you every single book. But yeah, I really can't wait to read them, and I think spring is the perfect time because spring is very much the season that I resonate with. And if you don't know what Anne of Green Gables is about, Anne Shirley is an orphan, and she gets adopted, taken in by this brother and sister, and they live on this gorgeous, gorgeous piece of land that has a farm on it, and she just goes through life and finds her way and finds her passions, and she's a very passionate girl, and it's very beautiful. I think it's a children's classic, and L.M. Montgomery just writes so beautifully poetic, and it's just so sweet and nice, and Anne is just a great girl, and I can also recommend the TV show. It's great. That's the one classic I want to read. And Emma, maybe, I'm not sure yet. That's just really random. And also, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is totally not the vibe, because I'm just thinking that I want to read it based on the fact that I have this gorgeous green copy, and green book equals spring in my head, I guess. The next classic is Thomas Hardy's Under the Greenwood Tree, and this one I really wanted to read last spring, but I seemingly forgot about it. But I think also I was in a reading slump last spring, if I remember correctly. Anyway, this is secondhand. My best friend got this for me, I think 2 years. Oh, I really should have read this earlier. Thomas Hardy's great love and understanding of the countryside in all its moods is amply evident in this delightful tale, which he called a rule painting of the Dutch school. The romance of Dick Dewey and Fancy Day, which follows its course through the 4 seasons of one Wessex year, is counterpointed by the story of the rustic characters of Mellstock Church Choir. Their carol-singing expedition, their struggles against the introduction of a new-fangled organ, their solemn deputation to the vicar, their contribution to the gaiety of all social occasions, from Trenta, Dewey's Christmas party, to his son's wedding day. Under the Greenwood Tree is an authentic picture painted in loving detail of an England that has long since vanished, and is undoubtedly the gentlest, most picturesque of Hardy's story. I mentioned some Christmassy aspects and that it's going through all seasons, but I still yet think with a title like that, this must be a good time to read now, I hope. If while I read this I find that I maybe should read each season, which I think could also be a fun idea, I might just do that. And that's it for Thomas Hardy book. Now the next book, I truly do not know if this is the right time to read this in, but I just really want to read the author, and I've been wanting to for a long time, and I think maybe she's someone that you could read all around the year, and I'm just really gravitating towards it right now, so I think this might be one of my next reads. And I also need to sneeze all the time because it's allergy season, but it's fun. It's fun? No, it's fine. It's not. Anyway, this is Jeanette Winterson's Written on the Body. And I don't know, something about this cover just screams springtime to me. I don't know, Jeanette Winterson has been on my wish list for a long time. And I have 2 of her books, but I think this might be more appropriate. We'll find out. Let me tell you about it. In a quiet English suburb, a love affair ignites. For our nameless narrator, Louise is the last in a long line of explosive passions, but the first to have broken their heart. With Louise's husband, Elgin, blocking love's curse, the affair is doomed to unravel, until, that is, a terrible choice must be made. With its witty and masterful prose, Written on the Body takes the reader on a beguiling and defying exploration of love and its physical forms. I read this synopsis before, but that just really made me want to read it. I just remembered how badly I want to read it. The next 2 books are very nature-focused. I'm dying to read them. I think both of these I'm gonna read over time because they're not... I think that's just preferable. I'm gonna read them over the springtime and really try to take it in. At the pond, swimming at the Hampstead Ladies Pond, and it's by all of these authors. I'm just gonna read you the list. I hope these are all of them, but they should be. Ava Wong Davies, Margaret Drabble, Esther Freud, Nell Frizzle, Ellie Goldstone, Amy Key, Jessica J. Lee, Sophie McIntosh, Somaya, Deborah Moger, not sure how to pronounce her name, Nina Paulus, Lean Shapton, Lou Stoppard, Charlene Thiam. I wouldn't be surprised if I butchered any of those names. The only one I recognize is Sophie McIntosh, but I might also know some of the other ladies. I picked this up in a English-only bookstore in Munich, and the lady at the register was so excited that I was buying it. She was like, "Oh my god, I just read it recently, I hope you love it as much as I do." And ever since then, I've been thinking about the perfect time to read this, and hopefully it's now. I'm very sorry, my dear. Tucked away along a shady path towards the northeast edge of Hampstead Heath is a sign. Women only. This is the Kenwood Ladies' bathing pond. Floating in the pond's silky waters, hidden by a canopy of trees, it's easy to forget that you are in the middle of London. On a hot day, thousands of swimmers from 8 to 80 plus can be found waiting to take a dip before sunbathing and enjoying meadow. As summer turns to autumn and then winter, the pond is still visited by a large number of hardy regulars in high-vis hats, many of whom have been swimming here for decades. In these essays, we see the pond from the perspective of writers who have swum there. Esther Freud describes life-affirming sensational swimming through the seasons. Lou Stoppard pays tribute to the winter swimmers who break the ice. Margaret Drabble reflects on the golden Hampstead days of her youth. Charlene Thiam visits for the first time, and Nell Frizzell shares the view from a yellow lifeguard's canoe, combining personal reminiscence with reflections on the history of the place over the years and through the changing seasons. At the Pond captures 14 contemporary writers' impressions of this unique place. Never seen anyone else talk about this book, which just makes the reading experience even more exciting because I really don't know what's to come. I think it will be quite lovely. This, just like Mary Oliver's Devotion, I think I'll also try to read from spring into summer, in that type of era. But I will start this soon, because I think just the general vibes will be very springtimey. I don't know, in my head, I always think about my summer reads as like Greek mythology-esque or queer literary fiction. I don't know, I just tend to read those type of books in summer, and also many other great stuff, but these just seem more springtimey to me. Late spring. I cannot wait to read. I was so excited when I found this. I hadn't heard about this one as well, and it's Losing Eden, Why Our Minds Need the Wild by Lucy Jones, and I cannot believe I haven't even looked into it yet. Did I even show the book? Just in case I didn't show it, here it is. There is no synopsis, but I read you one of the reviews that it says on the back of the book. By the time I read the first chapter, I'd resolved to take my son into the woods every afternoon over winter. By the time I read the sixth, I was wanting to break prisoners out of cells and onto the messy moors exciting, pertinent, and elegantly written. Another one provides evidence of how nature makes us calmer, healthier, happier, and even kinder. Shot through with personal experience, but it's about all of us. I'm like getting really excited about all of these books. Like, I have such shit memories, so I'm not surprised. But I really forgot how badly I want to read some of these. I have 2 more books. One I have a physical copy of and the other one I don't. We'll start with the physical copy. It's Sally Rooney's Intermezzo. I do not know if this is spring related at all, but here's the story. I'm a big Sally Rooney fan. I don't think they're in the shot, but I have all of her books and I love all of her books. I'm just upset with myself that I haven't read it yet, because I hope I'll love it, but maybe that's why I'm not reading it, because I'm scared that I won't. And it's also pretty chunky, and I have read... Did I tab it? I read the first 70 pages, but it wasn't the right time to read it, I think. Aside from the fact that they are brothers, Peter and Ivan Kobach seem to have little in common. Peter is a Dublin lawyer in his 30s, successful, competent, and apparently unassailable. But in the wake of their father's death, he's medicating himself to sleep and struggling to manage his relationships with 2 very different women. His enduring first love, Sylvia, and Naomi, a college student for whom life is one long joke. Ivan is a 22-year-old competitive chess player. He has always seen himself as socially awkward, a loner, and the antithesis of his glib elder brother. Now, in the early weeks of his bereavement, Ivan meets Margaret, an older woman emerging from her own turbulent past, and their lives become rapidly and intensely intertwined. For 2 grieving brothers and the people they love, this is a new interlude, a period of desire, despair, and possibility, a chance to find out how much one life might hold inside itself without breaking. And I think I was scared to read this in winter because it seems very depressing, as Sally Rooney tends to write. Hopefully, this is a big hope for, because I really want to read it. But the last book is actually an ARC that I got sent, which I was very excited by. The book comes out in the middle of April, and it's Open Heaven by Sean Hewitt, not so sure. And I got sent it by NetGalley, which I'm very thankful for. So it's a digital copy, because I'm from Germany. I've never once in my life got sent a physical copy of any of the books that have been sent by publishers and NetGalley, for example. So I'm interested to know if that's like a Germany thing, or how does one get a physical copy of a book. This is a really long blurb, so stick with me because I cannot tell you anything else. There's one cover of the book, and it has I don't know if you can see it on camera. It has a quote on it, and it's the following. It was like walking through a folk song that afternoon. The blackbirds and the thrushes, the sweetness of the flowers, the boy I loved, and who might even love me, waiting for me between the trees. Big fan of queer literature, and read you what the online blurb says as well, so you get more info on the book. I'm probably starting this tomorrow, hopefully. Set in a remote village in the north of England, Open Heaven unfolds over the course of 1 year, in which 2 teenage boys meet and transform each other's lives. James, a sheltered, shy 16-year-old, is alone in his newly discovered sexuality, full of an unruly desire but entirely inexperienced. As he's beginning to understand himself and his longings, he also realizes how his feelings threaten to separate him from his family and the rural community he has grown up in. He dreams of another life, fantasizing about what lies beyond the village's leaf-ribboned boundaries, beyond his reach. Autonomy, tenderness, sex. Not quite sure why the camera stopped recording, but I'm back. And that's totally fine because we are done. Those are all the books that I want to read this spring and spring into summer. I am very excited, and I will hopefully give you good reviews on them in my monthly wrap-ups. And see you then, and tell me what you want to read and give me any spring recommendations. I really want some cozy and feel-good books to read, which most of these are maybe not that, but I'm really excited. I'm really hoping to get some sun in here, and see you in the next one.